Hey y'all, it's Sydney Screams, and today's video is brought to you by Uberrime. I love Uberrime for a ton of reasons, but one of the most important reasons that I love them is that they make great toys. They make wonderful toys. There have only been, I think, one or two toys that I've tried from them that I'm just like, Otherwise they're great. They're really great. Everything they make is made with platinum pure silicone, so it can be easily cleaned and sterilized. They're a very queer-friendly company. They have multiple trans employees working for them. They're freaking awesome, okay? And they're very kind to me specifically. They are very kind to send packages to me overseas here in the Netherlands, where technically they don't ship. Shh, don't tell anyone I told you that. But they are also very generous to the organization that I volunteer for, SWADE, which is a mutual aid nonprofit for sex workers by sex workers that provides harm reduction supplies and micro grants to sex workers in need across the US. And Uberrime is very generous. They tend to send us a box of toys every time we have an event, and those we raffle off and help us raise money for our micro grant and harm reduction supplies. So I'm a big fan of Uberrime, and I'm actually very surprised because I thought I had filmed a video review of this toy, and yet it appears I have not. Shame on me. Shame on me, because I love this toy. I love it. This is the Oceanus Tentacle Fantasy Dildo from the Phantasia line, which is Uberrime's Beginner Friendly Fantasy line of dildos. They all have low profile, approachable textures, all inspired by fantasy sex toys. So they have a tentacle. I've reviewed Equus, which is a unicorn horn. I've reviewed Draconis, which is their dragon dildo. Like, they have various different options. I think they also have an alien. I think they have a werewolf. They have a vampire. I feel like I might be missing some here, but no matter, because today is the Oceanus Tentacle, which I love. And I'm genuinely, like, I don't know how I missed reviewing this, at least here on video, because I wrote a review of this like maybe a year ago. I don't know. I just updated the review not that long ago because I have been using this anally and I needed to include information about that. So I guess it kind of works out for the best that I haven't reviewed them here on my YouTube channel yet. So let's talk about Oceanus Tentacle Fantasy Dildo, shall we? Made with platinum pure silicone, super easy to clean, super easy to sterilize. There is some texture on here, but with all of the toys from the Phantasia line, it's very low profile texture, which means that it is more approachable, it is not quite as dramatic, it's not as intense. And so that's one of the reasons that they started this line, is to introduce people to fantasy sex toys in a more approachable way than other companies tend to do. So, another reason to love Uberrime, right? Right. Oceanus Tentacle is available in 2 sizes, which is the case for all of the toys in the Phantasia line. They're all available in small or large. I got a size small in the 00-50 firmness, which is my preferred firmness. So for me, this is the size small has a total length of 6.5 inches or 16.51 centimeters, an insertable length of 5.5 inches or 13.97 centimeters, a maximum diameter of 1.59 inches or 4.04 centimeters, and a maximum circumference of 4.99 inches or 12.67 centimeters. And when it comes to an O-ring, you're going to want to use a 1.75 inch O-ring or a 4.445 centimeter O-ring. As you can see from this texture, it does maybe look like there is a lot of texture, and I'm not trying to say that there's not, but this is a very low profile intensity level of texture. The 00-50 still has a good amount of squish to it, especially towards the tip is where it feels softest and most flexible, most bendy, but that's just how firmnesses work. The thicker a toy is, even a soft firmness is still going to have a limited amount of squish. That's just silicone, friends. That's just silicone, okay? The texture on this, though, is, I think, very approachable, especially if you are curious about tentacles. On the base, there's some, like, nice ocean-themed decoration, I guess you could say, and of course it says Uberrime's name here on the front. The base, they try to make their bases, like, as pretty as possible, and I always really appreciate that, because the butts are just, you don't see them often, but they're pretty. They're pretty. The size small Oceanus Tentacle is not available with a vacuum port or a vibrator port. However, the size large is. And if you decide to buy one of these, you can buy it as a ready-made, or you can buy it as a custom, in which you get to, you choose your size, your firmness, and 1 to 3 color options. And so this is just, I believe, a simple 2-color one. I didn't actually like customize this one. They sent it to me. I think it was one that they had used for their stock photography or their like page photography. I don't know. But they do that sometimes for affiliates, is send them toys that they use for their photography. So it's very nice of them. I love that they do that. But it also means that I don't necessarily know exactly if or what colors are chosen. I don't necessarily know what firmness. I am guesstimating that this is the 00-50 because I don't recall choosing the firmness on this, but I don't know. It's got a fair amount of squish, but it's also not particularly thick. When it comes to using Oceanus Tentacle, I started using it vaginally, and it's nice, but for me it's not a cock-warming nice. It's a thrusting nice, and so for me to use it to self-thrust, I have to use a double-sided suction cup, which isn't the worst thing ever, but most double-sided suction cups kind of act as a hinge, so if it's suction to it, this is kind of drooping a little bit. Just the nature of a double-sided suction cup. Some, however, I'm finding are less hingy than others. So, gosh, I'm going to have to talk about that one of these days. I'm going to have to go on a buying spree and just buy all the double-sided suction cups so that I can talk about it more authoritatively. Is that the right word? Whatever. For me, yeah, I didn't love cock-worming with Oceanus Tentacle. I prefer more. Specifically more girth when I'm cock-warming. I want that nice feeling of fullness. And tapered dildos have a wonderful place in my sex life, just not for cock-warming. Unless they're a thicker toy that is tapered. This one for me is just a little too thin for that. So my primary use with the Oceanus Tentacle was while thrusting it, whether someone else was thrusting it onto me, into me, or me thrusting it myself. I did also do a little bit of standing riding with Oceanus Tentacle. That's actually how I use this the most now. Holy shit. So I graduated this toy from being a vaginal toy to being an anal toy. And ever since I switched, I have not actually gone back to using this vaginally just because it is so good anally. And like, it's a perfect shape, it's a perfect size, it's really good for me for being an anal noob who is still kind of navigating anal pleasure. I use this both for pleasure, but also when I'm like cleaning my hole out and trying to make sure that I am ready for my partner or ready for my own pleasure, you know? And so even though this is not a suction cup base, you can maybe see that there's a little bit of a lip around the edge, and it works well enough to create enough suction on my shower wall that this will stick. I get it on there as well as I can. I lube it up first. I get it on the wall as well as I can, and then I slide it in my back door, and then even after I pull myself away, whether I'm checking to see just how clean I am or whatever, this stays. It stays suctioned to the wall even though there is not a suction cup base, and even though my shower walls are textured, like, Uberrime be working magic over there, okay? I don't know how they do it or what, but even my toys that are not suction cup toys seem to work. It seems to work. Not 100% of the time. The heavier the toy, the less likely it is, at least in my experience. But the small Oceanus is perfect for that. So I do a lot of like standing riding with it. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do is to suction it to the wall, have a vibrator or a different dildo in my pussy, and then I am pushing back up against the wall, riding this, and just going to town. And it's great. Thrusting is definitely my preferred type of stimulation with Oceanus Tentacle because it just feels so good. It feels so good. The texture against my sphincter is just and it's the tapered design. It does take a little bit of work to get in. I do tend to have to guide it with a finger a little bit, but once I get it right where it needs to go, I can then just kind of push down onto it. Because it is made with platinum pure silicone, I am only using a water-based lubricant with it. Don't use silicone lubes with your silicone toys. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, okay? Yeah. Even anally, I haven't really enjoyed using this for cock warming. I like them thicker and thicker. I also haven't done a lot of cock warming anally, just because I'm really enjoying like the thrusting sensations. I have used Oceanus Tentacle during DP. I literally just kind of said that I did that with vibrators or a dildo. But I've also done this during like vaginal penetration with my boyfriend. Having this in my ass and him in my vagina is just fantastic. The feedback he gave me about it was that he liked the tapered design because it didn't, like, with him thrusting this in and out of me, it didn't disturb him as much. He's been a very picky person with toys that we use for DP, which is fine. Everyone has their preferences, and he's new to sex toys because he started dating me and I'm a bad influence. But anyway, there is a larger size of Oceanus available, which you can get with the vacuum port or the vibrator port. This is just too small. It's too narrow. You would damage the toy trying to get that. But yeah, I really, really love this, especially for anal penetration. Now that it's been in my ass, I'm just keeping it. Like, it's an anal toy for me now. It is harness compatible too, so like I could have someone use this on me anally in a strap-on, and that would be fun, I think. I don't know, everything just seems fun right now, you know? But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I really like the design. I think it's a really nice design, especially for beginners. And if you do decide to customize it, you can even get a softer silicone than this one. And yeah, I think the biggest downside for me is self-thrusting this. There's just not quite enough. I have a big belly and short arms, and so thrusting it like between my legs is really challenging, especially for anal. However, if I'm on my side, which I'd like to do, this is much easier to reach behind and thrust into my back door that way. But yeah, I think this size large would be a little bit easier for me to thrust between my legs because there would be more length than what I actually need. And when there's additional length, I actually really like that because then it means that I do have an easier time like hand pumping a toy into myself, whether it is vaginal or anal. So it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's great for the tapered design specifically is great for someone who is new to sex toys, who is new to penetration in general, vaginal or anal. The tapered design it can be a little tricky to get in at first, especially if you're not used to that, but once you get used to it, it helps a lot because then you start small and you start to stretch just a little bit, and like we're not talking a big tremendous stretch here, but my boyfriend, for example, is not much thicker than the max circumference on this, and so this is a great way for me to prepare my back door for him, or for our pleasure together rather. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I love Uberrime. I'm sorry, I can't like completely leave my bias at the door. Because they're great. B, because they're awesome and they make great toys. C, like, I don't know, y'all. I just like them. They do also let me pick the toys that I want rather than being like, here's new stuff that we've launched, like, let us send you stuff that you're not interested in, you know, that's when I tend to end up with toys that I'm not a big fan of. But they let me pick, and so I tend to pick toys that will work better for me and my anatomy. And when they launched the Phantasia line, they sent me this Equus and Draconis all at once, and like those were 3 models that I was very interested in, and so they don't send me toys that I'm not gonna like anymore. I think there were a couple toys that they sent me, I think the first or second time I worked with them, that I just didn't love as much, but those weren't toys that I picked out for me. Now that I get to pick my own toys when I'm working with them, I pick out toys that I think I'm going to like or that people may want me to review. People keep asking me to review one of their other tentacles, and so I'm like, okay, next time I get a package from them, I have to get that because people want me to review it. So, which, by the way, if you want me to review a toy, let me know. I may not be able to do it right away because reviewing takes time. And in the case of like Uberrime, I literally just got a package from them this past week, and so it's going to be several months before I even consider asking for more, because I want to get through as many of the, reviewing as many of the ones that they just sent me as possible, you know? Okay, so I will do my best to review any toys that are requested. I may not always be the best person to do it. I will try though, as long as it's within my budget or I work with a company and I can just simply request a toy like that, I will try to do that. So keep that in mind, I guess, you know, fun things. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Uberrime for always sending stuff for Suede, for sending me toys to review, for working with me. I heart Uberrime a lot, and everyone should. Everyone really should, because they're a great company. They make really beautiful, fantastic toys. So check them out. I am an affiliate for them. I do not have an affiliate coupon code or anything because they only do a few sales a year. Generally, their sale times are like Valentine's Day, Black Friday, and maybe like Pride time. I think they had a sale last month in June. And so maybe it was the beginning of July, June or July, they had another sale, but they only have a few sales a year. And so they don't do coupon codes. They don't do discounts. Technically, you can find some of their toys available at third-party retailers like Peep Show Toys or She Vibe. But the best price you're always going to get for Uberrime is from them directly. They're great. They're fantastic. I love them. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on and on about my love for Uberrime, and I probably won't stop anytime soon. But I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Uberrime, for sending me the Oceanus Tentacle, as well as everything else that you've sent me. Y'all are wonderful. If you're watching this, friends, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, drop me your comments below. Which toys from Uberrime should I review? I'm curious what you think, because I don't know. It'll be a while, right? But there's some really fun toys, and I don't know, maybe I need more. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Sydney Talks Toys. Bye, y'all!